everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Just got back from Old Trafford. Manchester United won, Young Boys won. Was it the most exciting game? No. Was it a thrilling performance? No. Was it nice to see the youth play? Was it nice to see people given a chance, given their opportunity to make their claim to our new manager? Of course it was, and it's something we rarely got to see, if not ever, under Solskjaer. That many youth and academy players and players who need to be given a chance on the pitch, getting subbed on as well, like the players that got subbed on, like them to get their chance as well. I just thought it was outstanding, the amount of youth players we actually got to play tonight. Do I think anybody really made a claim to start the weekend? Not really. There was one player that massively stood out to me. I'll get on to him in a minute. But apart from that, I feel like it was quite an average game, which is going to happen when you play a bunch of players together that haven't played together much and have rarely been given any game time before. And also, the youth players are very inexperienced, especially in a Champions League game. I mean, I know it's young boys, but these are experienced professional players. Like, these players have been playing in the academy, so they're not used to that kind of pressure. They're not used to playing with the players that they're around. So I don't massively criticise the young players tonight, but it was nice to see who I think has a chance, who I think needs to improve a bit, etc, etc, all along them lines. Overall, I thought first half, I thought we started off quite well. We were pressing high. I thought Mason Greenwood massively led that press. I thought he was outstanding tonight. He was another one that I thought kind of fell off in the second half. But even when he had the ball in the second half, everything he did with it was good, considering that most of everybody else on the pitch was constantly losing the ball. So I thought Greenwood, he made great runs. I thought it was a top-class finish from him. And I thought his pressing was outstanding. And on the ball, he was very good as well. So I think he should start the weekend on the back of that performance, in my opinion. Yeah, it wasn't a great game, but he really, really stood out from the rest. And I know he's had a lot more experience in the first team and he's played in the first team for a number of years now. But he's still 20 years old. He's still a very young player. And to have kind of that much experience at that age, it's really exciting to see. And I want to keep seeing him progress. So to see him next to Ronaldo at the weekend in that two up front, I would honestly give him credit for that performance tonight, and I think he should start there. What kind of frustrated me a little bit is the situation with Juan Mata, with Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard and Juan Mata have done amazing things for this club. They've been great for us over the years. And they've had the moments, especially Juan Mata. We know what a servant he has been to this club. But Jesse Lingard, I don't know what's happening with his contract. Juan Mata, he shouldn't have signed on another contract. For me, these are just players that look, in that game, I know they're not playing with the rest of our first team. They're not playing with excellent players around them. But Mata just looked slow off the pace. Lingard trying to do a little bit too much with the ball instead of passing it off. And with Mata, it seemed like he needed a few touches before he actually got the ball out of his feet and made a pass. And by that point, they pressed him off the ball. So when you're the number 10 in the middle, when we're so used to having someone like Bruno who's constantly kind of linking it up in the midfield, it is hard for Mata to come in and have that same impact. And I think we really did miss Bruno tonight in that middle of the park to kind of pull the strings. And Mata, for me, it's just like, I appreciate why he played and I understand why he played, but he's taking time up when he's not going to be here much longer. He's not up to the standard that we need him to be. So that's just another... He shouldn't have ever got that contract. And that's not me going on Juan Mata. I thought it was nice to see him play today, but he just shouldn't be playing in these sort of games anymore. But that's what happens when you're under a contract and you've been with the club for so long. You do feel obliged to play these players. Moving on to the fullback scene, Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I thought Luke Shaw played well for the time that he was on the pitch. I thought he got stuck into tackles. I thought he got up the pitch very well, and his cross for Greenwood's finish was very well executed. Wan-Bissaka, on the other hand, I know he had that injury, so I wish nothing bad on him, but for me it was just massively, massively, massively underwhelming performance from him. He started the season with such poor form, and to watch him play like that again today when we've seen Dalot do so well. And again, you would say, yeah, but Dalot's playing with the first team. But no, Wan-Bissaka had times today when he was on the ball where constantly overrunning it, running into trouble. First touch wasn't great, defensively weak. And it's like, what factors are you actually bringing to the game? Because we've always say, oh, we love Wan-Bissaka because his defensive ability. His defensive ability has even been poor recently. And going forward, it's like sometimes it kind of obstructs the attack. I'd go that far to say it obstructs the attack. because he's not making the overlap when he should make the overlap, or he makes the overlap when he shouldn't make the overlap, or he tries to overrun it instead of just passing it off, or he passes it off where I think someone with a bit more drive would kind of get into the box, beat a man and put a very good cross into the box. I've not seen a very good cross from Wan-Bissaka in quite a while. I've not seen him consistently look promising going forward. I've not seen him have that great defensive performance that we know him for. So for me, I think that was him losing his place today. Honestly, I really do. I hope he gets back on track and I hope he become more of a competition. But in this system where Rangnick's going to want the fullbacks pushing up, they're going to want them playing forwards passes, assisting on the edge of the box, constantly kind of being out wide and be comfortable to receive the ball on the byline and do something with it instead of being pressured off the ball or first touch kind of making you lose out. I think Dallow's so much more suited to this system and I think he's going to flourish in this system. So for me at the moment, that was one where I thought, look, you've seen Dallow's played well. You need to really step it up here to get your place back in the team. And again, it was an extremely, extremely poor performance. And I just think with my right backs, or my full backs in general, I really like to see him pushing up the pitch, getting crosses into the box, being aggressive. And I didn't see any of that from him today, and I've not seen it in quite a long time, to be honest with you. So he's one that I'm a little bit worried about. When we look at Ahmad and Elanga, I thought Elanga, when I've seen him, especially last game, I thought his pace is great. The way he gets, the runs he was making and not receiving the ball off today as well. I felt for him a little bit because he was making a lot of runs and he wasn't receiving that ball over the top because it was hard to get the ball through the midfield. It was a little bit like watching paint dry at times. The amount of times we kind of passing backward or losing the ball because we couldn't get it at our feet quick enough. So I felt a little bit sorry for him in that sense. But at the same time, I think he needs, Rangnick will coach him and he'll learn off him, but he needs to use his strength a lot more. A lot of times he was getting bullied off the ball, but you're going to expect that. It's an academy graduate that's playing in a Champions League game and he was a starter as well. He's not going to have a perfect performance straight away, but I definitely see a lot of potential from him. Ahmad, I thought, played really well. I thought the way he's close control and the way he controls the football is great. His decision making, I think he's up there as well. I just think he's not quite there yet, but I think with a lot more game time, he would definitely be a contender for me to be definitely at least coming off the bench in certain games. At Norwich, I would love to see Ahmad come off the bench and kind of be given a chance in a Norwich games with a fully fledged fit first 11, like the first 11 that we play week in, week out, the guys that kind of are consistently in the team. I would love that from him, and I really do see that potential there with him. So they're two players that I was excited to see. Of course you're going to lose the ball. Of course you're going to make certain decisions that aren't, you would say, are bad decisions. But that's just because it's their first game. They've not played a lot of football, especially in the Champions League game. That is a lot of pressure at Old Trafford with the whole crowd there. But a lot of promising signs. The football in general, though, the second half performance, it was literally like watching paint dry, wasn't it, guys? Let's be honest. Like, I'm not going to be too harsh on it because we got through the group, but no player really made a claim to go and get into that first 11, which I really wanted to see tonight because it's a new coach. You want to impress. The judgments from Ollie are gone, so you can go and impress that new coach and make your claim to get in that first team. And I think it's all because it was very disjointed. I don't think Mata and Lingard in the middle of the park helped at all with linking up the play. I thought their performances were very, very poor, if I'm honest. So I think that kind of disadvantaged a lot of the players, and one of them players being Donny van der Beek. Donny van der Beek, he's not a number 6 for me. I think he's a number 8. He's box to box. I'd love to see him play that game with Bruno as a number 10 today instead. I thought you would have seen him shine a lot more. That goal he gave away, yes, it was a little bit clumsy, but at the same time, it was Wan-Bissaka getting him into trouble, losing the ball in areas you shouldn't lose the ball in. So I felt for him a little bit on that goal, but overall I thought he's passing out from the back the way he wants to receive the ball all the time. He was making crunching tackles, his positions were good. The only thing that was frustrating is when he got the ball, especially in the second half, everyone had run out of steam. There was no options on for him whatsoever, so he's running into trouble, having to go backwards, and I felt like saying, guys, do you want to win this game? Like, constantly playing backwards when you really should have been going out there and taking the ball to young boys and taking them on. And I would have liked to see a lot more of these young players kind of have the confidence to go and take these players on instead of kind of passing back into the middle where it clearly wasn't working. So that's something that needs improving on. I think confidence levels, having belief in yourself, it's hard when you've not had this opportunity before, and this is a final chance you get an opportunity. So for me, Donny, in a first 11, 100% I'd love to see him start instead of McTominay in that position. I would love it. Or even in some games, if Fred needs to come off or play Donny, I think Donny can play Fred's position extremely well. I think he's definitely a first team player. I think as a CDM, that's not him. As a box to box, that is him. And I think playing with a higher quality of players would have really helped him out tonight massively. That's what I kind of saw when I watched Donny's performance. But ultimately, we weren't pushing up high enough, especially in the second half. The press, we kind of lost that a lot, and the only one that looked like they really understood the press properly in the first half was Mason Greenwood. I thought he did it superbly. And then in the second half, massively dropped off, and I just think we weren't pushing them high enough defensively. The balls we were playing, we weren't playing through the lines. People weren't getting into the correct spaces. People were still making runs, but they weren't intelligent runs to get into the correct space to kind of move the football around. And that's going to come with time. That's going to come with more game time. But overall, no players for me apart from Greenwood are kind of making the claim to get in the first team. And I do think Raul's got a little bit of work on his hands, because these second string players haven't had any game time. I know the academy graduates are playing in the under 23s, but that's not like playing at this level. It's not the same. So I do think these players do deserve more game time. I want to see more from them, especially the ones that you can see there's a lot of talent there and there's a lot of potential. They just need a little bit more coaching. They need more game time. But it is exciting to see that many academy graduates or young players starting in a game, and you can also see which players are kind of not good enough now to play for Manchester United, shouldn't be starting games, and what players kind of needs to be introduced to the first team and play with the first 11 and get given their chance there. Overall, a draw isn't the worst result. We've got to look forward to the draw for the Champions League. Bring on the next round, and I'll see you at the Norwich game, guys. I'm really excited for the Norwich game. I think it'll be really interesting to watch that high press again and see how far we can kind of hold that out throughout the whole game. But overall, have a nice night, guys. Leave your comments down below. What academy graduates do you think are going to get into the first team? Who do you want to see play more? And yeah, let me know what you think. But good night.